Right now, as you watch this, there's a war happening inside your head, and you're losing. On one side, a voice telling you there's not enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunities. On the other side, a whisper you barely hear anymore, telling you abundance is your birthright. The side that wins determines whether you stay broke or become wealthy. This isn't motivation. This isn't positive thinking nonsense. This is the brutal psychology of why some people attract money effortlessly while others struggle their entire lives. Scarcity versus abundance. Two operating systems. One makes you rich. One keeps you poor. And here's what nobody tells you. You didn't choose which one you're running. It was installed without your permission. Today, we're going to expose this war, show you which side is winning inside you, and give you the exact mental weapons to flip the script. Because until you understand this battle, you're just a prisoner of your own programming. The invisible war. Every single day, your brain makes over 35,000 decisions. What to eat, what to buy, who to trust, what to pursue. And behind every single one of those decisions, there's a filter, a lens through which you see the entire world. Psychologists call it your dominant mindset. And here's the terrifying part. You don't get to consciously choose it. It was programmed into you before you could even speak. Think about it. The mind is everything. What you think you become. When you were a child, you absorbed everything. Your parents' arguments about bills. The sighs when checking the bank account. The phrases like "we can't afford that" or "money doesn't grow on trees." Those weren't just words. They were code. Installation code for your financial operating system. And that system now runs in the background of every money decision you make. The scarcity mindset sees the world as a pie with limited slices. If someone else gets more, you get less. Competition, fear, hoarding. The abundance mindset sees the world as an expanding universe. More for others means more for everyone. Collaboration, opportunity, flow. Which one is running your life right now? Because here's the truth that changes everything. Poverty code. The scarcity mindset isn't just a way of thinking. It's a survival mechanism that made sense 10,000 years ago, when food was genuinely scarce, when resources were limited, when hoarding could mean the difference between life and death. Your ancestors who feared scarcity survived. The ones who didn't, they died. So guess whose genes you inherited? Survival. Your brain is literally wired to scan for threats, focus on what's missing, and prepare for the worst. This was genius for cavemen. It's a disaster for modern wealth building. Here's what the scarcity code does to your mind. It makes you think short term. Why invest when you might need that money tomorrow? It makes you fear success, because more visibility means more threats. It makes you resent the wealthy, because their gain feels like your loss. It makes you play not to lose instead of playing to win. If this is resonating with you, if you're seeing yourself in these patterns, hit like and subscribe to reprogram more of your money blocks. The next one might be the one holding you back the most, because the poverty code doesn't just affect your bank account. It affects your relationships, your career, your entire life trajectory. And the worst part is coming next. The scarcity trap. Princeton researchers conducted a study that should terrify you. They found that financial scarcity literally lowers your IQ. Not by a small amount, by 13 to 14 points. That's the difference between normal and borderline impaired. Your poverty mindset is making you dumber. When your brain is consumed with scarcity, it has no bandwidth left for opportunity recognition, creative problem solving, or long-term planning. You become trapped in survival mode, and here's the cruelest twist. The scarcity mindset creates the very scarcity it fears. You worry about money, so you make fear-based decisions. Fear-based decisions lead to poor outcomes. Poor outcomes confirm your belief that there's never enough. And the cycle repeats. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy written in your neural pathways. This is why people who win the lottery lose it all. Why businesses fail in the hands of scarcity thinkers. Why broke people stay broke even when given opportunities. The external circumstances don't matter as much as the internal programming. As the wealthy industrialist Henry Ford once observed, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. The question is, how do you escape a trap you can't even see? That's where the abundance shift begins. Abundance signal. Let me tell you about a neuroscience discovery that changes everything. Your brain has a system called the reticular activating system, the RAS. It's basically a filter that decides what information reaches your conscious awareness out of the millions of bits your senses receive every second. And here's the key. Your RAS is programmed by what you focus on repeatedly. Focus creates reality. When you're running scarcity, your RAS filters for threats, problems, and lack. You literally cannot see opportunities even when they're right in front of you. But when you shift to abundance, your RAS starts filtering for possibilities, solutions, and resources. The same world suddenly looks completely different. This isn't magical thinking. This is neuroscience. Wealthy people aren't seeing a different world. They're filtering the same world through a different lens. They see opportunities where you see obstacles. The abundance mindset isn't about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about training your brain to scan for what's possible instead of what's wrong. It's about believing that solutions exist even before you find them. It's about knowing that resources are flowing, not fixed. This mental shift alone has transformed more lives than any financial strategy ever could. But knowing isn't enough. You need the specific technique to rewire your brain. The belief audit. Before you can install a new operating system, you need to identify the corrupted files. This is what I call the belief audit, and it's uncomfortable as hell. Grab a piece of paper. Write down your automatic thoughts about money. When you see a luxury car, what's your first reaction? Jealousy, judgment, admiration. When someone mentions their salary is twice yours, what do you feel? When you think about asking for a raise, what excuse immediately appears? 1. What I believe about rich people. 2. What I believe about my earning potential. 3. What I learned about money from my parents. 4. What I tell myself when money gets tight. These answers reveal your source code. And here's what most people discover. Their beliefs about money are borrowed, not chosen, just inherited from parents, teachers, society, media. You've been running someone else's financial software your entire life. As the pioneering psychologist Carl Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The belief audit makes the unconscious conscious. It drags your programming into the light where you can finally examine it, question it, and decide if it's serving you. Most of your money beliefs won't survive this examination. And that's exactly the point. Rewiring wealth. Your brain is not fixed. This is the most important scientific discovery of the last 50 years. Neuroplasticity means your neural pathways can be rewired at any age. The scarcity code can be overwritten. But here's what most self-help gurus won't tell you. Affirmations alone don't work. Your subconscious rejects what it doesn't believe. If you're broke and you tell yourself, I am wealthy, your brain laughs and files it under delusion. The trick is incremental belief shifting. Not I am wealthy when you're not, but I am capable of creating wealth. Not money comes easily to me when it doesn't, but I am learning to attract money more easily. Your subconscious can accept growth. It rejects fantasy. The research of Dr. Carol Dweck at Stanford proved that people with a growth mindset consistently outperform those with fixed mindsets. Growth beats fixed, not because they're smarter, because they believe improvement is possible. Apply this to money. You don't need to believe you're already rich. You need to believe you're becoming wealthy, that your earning potential is expandable, that your relationship with money can evolve. This slight shift opens the door that scarcity keeps locked. And once that door opens, something miraculous happens. Money magnetism. Here's something the wealthy understand that the poor don't. Money is not attracted to need. Money is attracted to value. The more desperate you are for money, the more it runs from you. The less attached you are to it, the more it flows toward you. This isn't spiritual nonsense. This is observable psychology. Desperation repels, confidence attracts. When you operate from scarcity, you make desperate decisions. You underprice yourself. You take bad deals. You stay in situations that drain you because you fear there's nothing better. You repel the very thing you're chasing. When you operate from abundance, you make powerful decisions. You price yourself appropriately. You walk away from bad deals. You position yourself where value flows. You become magnetic. The billionaire investor Warren Buffett once explained, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This is abundance thinking in action. While everyone panics, the abundant mind sees opportunity. While everyone hoards, the abundant mind invests. The difference in outcomes over a lifetime is staggering. But there's one more piece to this puzzle that most people miss entirely: giving paradox. This will sound counterintuitive, but stay with me. One of the fastest ways to shift from scarcity to abundance is to give, not when you're rich, now, when it scares you a little. Why? Because scarcity says hold on tight, there's not enough. Giving is a direct act of rebellion against that programming. Every time you give generously, you're telling your subconscious, I have more than enough to share, and your subconscious starts to believe it. Studies at the University of Oregon showed that giving activates the same pleasure centers in the brain as receiving. But here's the wealth secret. It also activates areas associated with trust and social bonding. Givers build networks. Networks build wealth. The wealthy give not despite their wealth, but as part of creating it. Generosity signals abundance. Abundance attracts opportunity. Opportunity creates wealth. It's a virtuous cycle that starts with a simple decision. Act like you have enough, even before you do. The ancient wisdom traditions understood this. The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. This isn't about religion. It's about rewiring your relationship with resources. But there's a dark side to this war you need to understand. Abundance enemies. Even when you start shifting toward abundance, there are forces trying to pull you back. And the most dangerous ones aren't external. Sabotage. Your own brain will resist the change. Remember, scarcity was a survival mechanism. Your subconscious thinks it's protecting you. When you start succeeding, it will manufacture fears. When opportunities arise, it will highlight risks. When wealth approaches, it will whisper you don't deserve this. This is called the upper limit problem. Gay Hendricks identified it in his research on successful people. We all have an internal thermostat for how much success we allow ourselves. Go beyond it, and self-sabotage kicks in. Success triggers sabotage. You pick fights with your partner when things are going well. You get sick right before the big meeting. You make stupid financial decisions after a windfall. Sound familiar? This isn't bad luck. It's your scarcity programming fighting to maintain control. The solution? Conscious awareness. When you feel the pull back to scarcity, name it. Say out loud, this is my upper limit. This is old programming. I choose abundance now. Recognition interrupts the pattern. And there's one final weapon you need in this war: daily abundance. Winning the mindset war isn't a one-time victory. It's a daily practice. Every morning, your brain resets closer to its default programming. Scarcity creeps back in while you sleep. So you need a daily ritual to maintain abundance consciousness. Here's what works. 1. Morning gratitude. Name 3 things you have enough of. 2. Abundance journaling. Write evidence of plenty in your life. 3. Generous action. Give something today with no expectation. 4. Evening reflection. Where did abundance appear today? This isn't positive thinking. It's neurological conditioning. You're training your RAS to filter for abundance. You're building neural pathways that make wealth thinking automatic. The philosopher William James put it perfectly. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Every thought is a vote for which mindset wins. Scarcity thoughts vote for poverty. Abundance thoughts vote for wealth. Over time, those votes become your reality. The war inside you never truly ends. But now you know the battlefield. You know the weapons. And most importantly, you know which side you want to win. So here's the truth you now understand. Scarcity and abundance aren't just mindsets. They're operating systems that determine the trajectory of your entire financial life. One keeps you trapped in survival mode, making fear-based decisions, repelling the very wealth you desire. The other opens your perception to opportunities, attracts resources through value creation, and builds momentum toward genuine prosperity. Choose your program. The war inside you is real, but now you're no longer fighting blind. You know about the childhood programming that installed your scarcity code. You understand how it creates self-fulfilling prophecies of lack. You've learned about the reticular activating system and how to retrain it. You've done your belief audit and identified the corrupted files. You know that incremental belief shifting actually works, that giving paradoxically creates receiving, that your own success can trigger sabotage, and that daily practice is non-negotiable. The only thing standing between you and your goal is the story you keep telling yourself. Your story is no longer one of scarcity. It's one of becoming, of growth, of abundance that expands with every conscious choice you make. If you made it this far, comment abundance activated to prove you're among the few who will actually change. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it. If this exposed something in you, subscribe. There's more wealth programming to uncover.